Dear bus drivers, I am Alan Buford, Division Transportation Manager for Hopewell City Public Schools. This DVD was produced by the Epilepsy Foundation of Virginia. After numerous requests from bus drivers and aides, I invited the Epilepsy Foundation of Virginia to Hopewell, because we all know that well-informed drivers save lives. The purpose of this video is to train you on how to respond if a child has a seizure on your bus.
Before we can talk about how to appropriately respond to a child having a seizure on your bus, we must first discuss what a seizure is. For that, we have Dr. Stacy Epps. He's the lead neurologist at the Bon Secours Medical Group in Richmond and the vice president of the Epilepsy Foundation of Virginia. He will tell you exactly what a seizure is, as well as some basic first aid you need to respond to a child having a seizure.
I'm Dr. Stacy Epps. I am the lead neurologist with the Bon Secours Medical Group here in Richmond, and I'd like to give you a little information today about epilepsy and about epilepsy safety and seizure safety. So what is epilepsy? Epilepsy is recurrent, unprovoked seizures, meaning seizures that happen without an underlying reason, such as a low blood sugar or a low blood salt. These seizures that occur can best be thought of as an abnormal electrical storm in the brain, such that you have a group of brain cells that become overly excited, and because they're overly excited, they fire abnormally. And depending on where this storm occurs, you get the different manifestations that we see outwardly as seizures. Seizures come in many forms. The simplest type of seizure is what's called a simple partial seizure. This is a simple partial seizure, where just one body part moves. There's no alteration in consciousness. The patient is awake. He knows it's happening. We go to what we all think about when we hear the word seizure, and that's the dramatized version we always see on television, and that's the convulsion or the generalized tonic-clonic seizure. This is where the patient will fall into the floor, their arms will stiffen, their legs will stiffen, they may have a guttural type moan as air is forced out of the lungs from the diaphragm contracting, and they'll shake, they may foam at the mouth, they may bite their tongue, the patient may lose control of their bodily functions. That's the most dramatic. In between, we have something called an absence seizure, which is very common in children and adolescent age young adults, where they just have a momentary loss of awareness. They're in the middle of a conversation, they stop, they stare, they may have some fluttering of their eyelids, they may have some movement of the mouth, but they come right back to themselves after just a few seconds. These are very brief. The next type of seizure is something called a partial complex seizure. This is where the seizure manifests itself as, again, a loss of awareness, stopping what you're doing, and you may have some turning of the head, an arm may go up, there may be some shaking of the limb, and after a few minutes, it resolves, the patient starts to come back awake into himself. In terms of seizure first aid, what to do if you come upon someone having a seizure or someone you're with has a seizure. The most important thing is to stay calm. If you don't stay calm, you cannot help that person. Seizures can be very alarming to people, particularly if someone's having a convulsion, but you need to set that aside and think about the patient. Stay calm. The next thing is to keep the patient safe. With some of these seizures, people may fall to the ground. You try to lower them to the ground if you see that they're falling out of their chair. If they're on a bus seat, for example, and they start to slide down, lower them into the floor. Protect their head. If they're shaking, their head could bang against the floor, it could bang against the post of the seat. Put a jacket underneath their head, put a jacket or a backpack between the patient's head and the post of the seat, anything to keep them safe. Never ever hold a patient down. By trying to stop these movements or the shaking, you do nothing but potentially cause extra harm. You can break bones, you can cause a shoulder to be dislocated, so never hold them down. And probably the most important myth to dispel is that the patient may swallow his tongue. Never ever put anything in a patient's mouth. He is not going to swallow his tongue. However, if you put something in his mouth, he could bite it off and swallow that, taking it down into a lung. causing more problem. He could bite your finger if you put your finger in his mouth. So never put anything in his mouth. Patients are breathing during seizures. They don't breathe as efficiently. You may see some blueness around the lips. That's okay. Once the seizure is over, place the patient on his side. That way, if there are any secretions that were in the mouth, they come out of the mouth and not back down into the lung, causing a potential pneumonia. So stay calm, keep the patient safe, never put anything in the mouth, never hold the patient down, put them on their side and let them recover. Most seizures will end within a couple of minutes. If a patient has known epilepsy, he has a seizure, and he starts to come back to himself after it's over with, it's brief, under 2 minutes, there's no need for him to go to the emergency room. There's no need to call for the EMS service. If he has a seizure that lasts for 5 minutes or longer, that's when you call EMS. If he has a seizure, you've rolled him onto his side, he's still drowsy, he's still confused, and he has another seizure before he wakes up and comes back to his normal self, that's when you call the EMS. Otherwise, let him recover and move on.
Now that we understand what a seizure is, we will discuss why this training is important. Please note that these interviews discuss actions taken by bus drivers that have not been trained in seizure safety.
Archer and Andrea got on the bus just like a regular day. Not too long after, I heard a horn in our front yard, in the road in our front yard, and I looked out to see the bus blowing its horn. So I ran out to see what was wrong, and Archer ran off the bus to say that thought Andrea was having a seizure. We were just fortunate that Archer was able to alert the bus driver and that they could make their way back here fairly quickly so that we could get her the help that she needed. But we also know that not every situation is someone that fortunate, either by having someone who could see what's going on the bus, or to be able to get to help, or to be able to get back home quickly. So we know we were fortunate that day, and hope that videos and training opportunities for other school systems can help alert others to what to look for and what to do should a seizure occur on the bus.
Children's lives, the daily activity, going to school, coming home from school. And when kids are able to have access, just like their friends, to get a school bus ride to school and home, it helps them feel a little bit more normal. A lot of times kids that have a condition like epilepsy might feel like, well, I take my medicine, or somebody's always watching me, and I don't feel normal. So if they're able to get on the bus and go to school, come home from school, it helps them feel like I'm just like the kid sitting next to me, or my best friend sitting with me.
When you have a child that has epilepsy or any kind of seizure disorder, any kind of medical condition, when they're away from home and you're not with them, you're constantly worrying about, are they going to be okay on the bus? What if I'm not there? What if I can't get to them? Are they definitely going to call 911? Or are they going to have an injury? And so knowing that someone on the bus that's an adult can recognize the signs and symptoms of a seizure or a medical condition will allow them to be able to get the right kind of treatment that the child needs. And having that knowledge, I know, makes parents feel more at ease. Does it make you feel more at ease though too, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me as nervous when I'm having to go on the bus worrying if anyone's going to have any idea what's going on, and I'm not going to know, and I'm not going to be able to tell them, and so I need someone that can kind of watch out for me, like as a guardian angel on the bus.
Yeah, they are kind of a guardian angel on the bus. Yeah.
In the following clip, we will see what a seizure looks like, and how a driver that has not been trained in seizure safety might respond.
Buddy, are you okay? Naya, you okay? Naya, talk to me, buddy. Talk to me, buddy. Are you okay? Here, have a seat. Sit. Are you okay? You okay, Naya?
Now that we've seen what not to do, 3 of our epilepsy heroes, Nia Bennett, Sue Dunbar, and the executive director of the Epilepsy Foundation, Suzanne Bischoff, will show you how to appropriately respond to the 2 most common types of seizures a child might experience on your bus. First will be a complex partial, followed up by the more dramatic tonic-clonic seizure.
So we will start with a complex partial seizure. Now Sue, you don't grab onto him because then he might lash out unconsciously. But you stand in front of him. Don't touch him and just try to lead him very calmly to safety. Stand in front of him that he doesn't look in the sea. Sit down. And you leave him there because he's very safe, and then you can pull over and take measures. You've pulled over and you try to unflip his backpack so his airways stay clear and move him on the side. And put something under the head. That way he doesn't hurt himself. And then let it go, and you can call the emergency or whatever number the school protocol tells you to call. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments on our video, please write to us via www.efva.org. Thank you.